Thanks, everyone. Thanks, Edison. I trust everybody is keeping well. Good afternoon, good morning, wherever you are, and good evening for those who are in the Far East. My name is Cynthia. I'm the chapter lead for Women Will here in Accra, Ghana. And I will be going through a few issues or topics around how to navigate this unprecedented times. I think you've already spent a lot of time trying to figure out how to move or pivot your business to respond to the growing and changes and dynamics that are occurring around us in this prevailing circumstances. So I hope you enjoy. I also encourage you to please, I'm going to go through the slides as quickly as possible to create quite a bit of time for us to dialogue, because some of the issues may be unique to your context. So please, if you have questions as I present, do go ahead and put it in the Q&A section. And then I will defer to our moderator to help us navigate those questions. And if there's any other discussions, then we can take those after the session. Let me find where's my next? Okay, great. So who's Cynthia? My name is Cynthia Antwi-Dodu. I am based here in Accra. I know some of you may be a bit confused. My accent is Southern African. I actually originate from Botswana. It's a long story, but I've spent about 15 years in the ICT sector, and of which the last 10 years has been focused on digital development, digital health, digital ag, digital financial services. And I've actually spent the bulk of my career working remotely with teams across 4 continents and 4 different time zones. So to even give you an example, my morning starts as early as 4 a.m. and finishes sometimes as late as 9 p.m. or 10 p.m., depending on who I'm talking to in the course of the day and where they are located. So I've had a lot of experience working with teams remotely, working as an individual, managing my time, and so on and so forth. So I hope that whatever I have to share here today would be useful for your teams and how you engage with your teams moving forward. Okay. So what are we going to talk about today? We are going to spend some time touching on a few topics here. We want to talk about what do we need to do to pivot in in the new normal of running a business. We will not be able to see people or a lot of people face to face, or even if we are, there are certain protocols that are there that would not enable us to engage as we had been doing in as recent as December or early March. So what tips, what tricks, what things can we use that would enable us to move forward? And I guess this is just the overview of what we'll be looking to discuss. Some of them, you've seen them before, so I'm not going to delve into them too much, but I will focus on specific areas as you'll see moving forward. So let's dive in. So first things first, COVID hit. They told us to go and sit at home for 2 weeks and they'll let us know how things go. And 3-4 months down the line, we really don't actually understand how things are going. However, a business must run, and in this unprecedented time, there are certain things that we need to be thinking about to be able to respond. Most importantly, a lot of our customers, probably 80% for some, will not be able to come to your premises or place of business to transact. So this leaves you as a business owner needing to think through a few things that you need to be taking into consideration. First of all, how has your business been running previously? what do you have a document? Do you have something that speaks to all the different activities that you do, how you do it, why you do it, and what are the outcomes or the results of those processes? Can they be automated? Can, instead of you having to have the invoice machine only sitting at the office, and once you leave the office, you can't work on it, is there any way you can work on this through a web platform? And I'm sure there are so many tools and topics that have come up, but I just want to bring this all together as to what all these things you've been learning in the broader ecosystem on this platform and with Google. So how can we automate these? What can we automate? Can we outsource some of these facilities? If you had one driver doing your deliveries, you will probably need a few more, or probably outsource the delivery of your goods to a delivery company, for example. How is that going to be coordinated? Can there be some digital way to track and manage how you do your delivery, so that when customers are making queries as to where the whereabouts of their deliveries, it can be tracked, you can tell them what's going on, and so on and so forth. Again, also, there are some businesses which have to remain face-to-face. We cannot plait our hair through WhatsApp or Skype. So, how do we bring our business from just being, oh, I saw a salon, next to me and I'll just pass by, or I saw a boutique and they had, cute stuff and I'll pass by. How do we move that to a digital platform where we can actually engage with the broader audience? Streamlining business processes. One of the things that we don't usually take into consideration as we are growing our business is that we don't take time to reflect on how our businesses are running. What are the efficiencies what efficiencies can we gain? Where are you wasting money? It only gets to a certain point where you are 5, 6, 7, maybe even 10 years down the line, and you discover that you've been wasting a lot of money on small things that really could have been nipped in the bud had you taken time to look at your processes. Another consideration, customer relationship management. Now it's not about getting customers to get through, get into your place of business, but how do you engage with your customers, leveraging technology and a tool like a customer relationship management tool, which kind of automates the whole sales cycle. So it starts from when you engage with the customer to placing an order, or in some businesses, a pro forma, to an invoice, to sales, to so on and so on. And how do you coordinate that and make sure that it's seamless and you are able to make, carry out those processes in a efficient manner and cost-effective manner too. So one of the tools that I've been working with and engaging with different organizations, small organizations, medium organizations, is a tool called Britics 24. This tool is able to integrate with a lot of the different invoicing systems and so on out there. But basically, all that it does, it helps you to manage your sales cycle. It helps you coordinate your operations on a digital platform. For those who have inventory, to those who use sales resources. So when I say sales resources, like sales ladies, marketing ladies, and so on, it actually just coordinates the whole ecosystem of running a business. This is applicable to any industry, tourism, even the trades, hairdressing, baking, whatever. All these things all these services can leverage on a tool like this to harmonize your business. So I just put this here. If you want further information, we can talk about this at the end of the presentation. But this is a great tool that just puts all the pieces together. You can access it on your mobiles, your tablets, your laptops. You can actually bring all your staff on board. So your staff will be talking to each other on or through this tool. It can see, integrate with your invoicing, as I said, your mailing system, and so on. So all these are available for you to look at. And of course, every business is unique. So if you have specific questions, please do go ahead and post it in the Q&A. And if it's something really, really crucial, we can take this off at the end of the call. But I thought let's bring this part here. The next thing, which I think a lot of us have been struggling with, and I think for me, I would say from how I've been doing my work is, yes, I do a lot of travel, I go up and down, but at some point, the dynamics of working online in a collaborative manner with different people, sometimes different time zones, different cultures, lends itself to a slightly different way of working. One of the most important things is that the company, your business, needs to take into consideration what type of policies or key things that you want to introduce to the job descriptions of your staff to enable them to comfortably move and navigate onto a digital platform. I'll start with the basics. If you have been doing it face-to-face, guys come from wherever they are coming from into the office, are they equipped to do this work remotely? First of all, do they have their adequate laptops, tablets? How are they going to communicate and work with their staff members? Do they have adequate access to the internet? Are you going to be in a position to offer them some bundles so that they can be actively participating and engaging in the day-to-day operations of the business as though they were there in person? How do you manage time management, right? How do you quantify how much somebody has done in the course of a day? You can look at tools like Clockify, which enable you to create, based on the different activities that you are doing, that somebody can actually bill time or allocate time that they've spent in the day to quantify how much time they've spent. Therefore, as a business, you would be able to now actually know how much time people are spending on the business and what exactly they are doing, in the course of their day. This then allows you not to be so stressed up about, oh, are they, responding to my emails on time? If they don't respond in 30 minutes, then it's an issue. But it gives you flexibility that in the course of a day, whether you're going to work in the night, whether you're going to work in the morning, you need to give me my 8 hours, for example, okay? So these are some of the things. This is one of the things that you could look at. Another thing is, how do you manage leave? Because somebody can go and say, I'm in the call on discussing managing my business online, and just leave it on and walk off and go to the grocery store, okay? So how do you handle that? Do you have a way of tracking how much time people are spending doing your work vis-a-vis taking time to do other things, because now they are in the homestead. So it's not a phone call away, it's actually just a knock on the door. So maybe allocating some time that is in the course of the day for people to attend to those issues so that you would be still able to get your 8 hours is something that could be considered. It's just a suggestion. The nitty-gritties of that can be delved into even by the HR practitioners. Staff performance. One of the key things and the biggest challenge right now with this sudden move to digital, a lot of people are suffering from fatigue of being online. Sometimes I can sit for 8 to up to 14 hours a day, depending on what is required and what I need to do. And at a point in time, it becomes very, very stressful. And you just want to disengage. In fact, it's easy for you to even get burnt out faster online than it is, having to trek to the office every day. So Also, you need to be also factoring this into your expectations and how you're going to engage with your staff. Effective management, team collaboration. What tools can you use to manage your teams effectively? Are you going to be having, and I will borrow loosely from Agile project management, where you have stand-ups, you have a call maybe every, maybe twice a week or 3 times a week, depending on how fast-paced your business is, to just, get a sense for what is happening with your staff. What are their challenges? Any blockers? How do you address it? Do you do it in the morning? You could even do it in the morning. You could do it at the close of business. But essentially, it gives you an idea of how your staff is working, what are their issues, how can you engage and unblock for them the key things that are affecting their performance. Tools of collaboration, I don't know. Sometimes in some organizations, they don't leverage on some of the tools, but as I will present to you, you could also use Google Docs to develop your documents, where all team members can collaborate on a document, fill in different parts of the document to complete a task. You don't have to worry about versioning and circulating a Word doc to 3, 4 different people and so on. So you could leverage on Google Docs, you could leverage on even other tools, those who may have more means, who want to engage with something like Salesforce. Also, Bitrix can do the same to enable you to communicate on a standard platform that would enable you to also capture knowledge, because at the same time, you're also looking at making sure the organizational knowledge and dynamics, which you would normally get in a face-to-face meeting or not, walking over to somebody's desk to get information, is captured still in one place. So if you have a tool that can help you coordinate that, you are actually inadvertently also managing the institutional knowledge of your business, so that if a new person comes in, it's not like they're starting from scratch. They can actually see how conversations have been done. They can see how communications, documents, and all those things have been developed. And it's much easier for them to get, I don't know, indoctrinated is the wrong word, but brought into the business and hit the ground running faster than they would in other ways. Other ways of communicating with your staff, we have, you could use project management tools to track performance on different tasks. Project management tools don't necessarily mean you are running a project, but it just keeps track of all the different activities that you need to be looking at as you're running your operation. So if you have, maybe you do batch productions of products, maybe you've assigned different activities to different staff members, you could actually use a project tool to enable you to keep track of who's doing what when, and that also ties to the time management that I have brought above. So all these things I think would be a good one. Another one is RACI, which is responsible, accountable, consult, and inform. This is a chart I'm borrowing from more our IT governance, but I find that it's very useful because it clears the air with ambiguity and finger pointing, as it were. What that means is you can draw up a table or get your staff or teams to draw up a table and identify who are the key staff members in an organization who need to be held, in this case, they are responsible, so they need to be in charge of the activity. There are those who are accountable. If if something goes wrong, they are going to be held to account, and they will have to explain why something went well or did not go wrong. Some people just need to be consulted. So, hey, this is what we are working on. This is what I've assigned the staff to do, and we would like your input, but not necessarily that they have to get involved in the activities. And then inform is, oh, by the way, this is what we are doing. This is what we want to do. This is what we are doing. This is how we are going to do it. And that way, it removes ambiguity. It removes finger pointing. everybody knows where they stand. So when it comes to problem solving, or if there are bottlenecks, you know who in the organization is responsible for what part based on that communication tool. Again, as I mentioned, Google Docs, email, WhatsApp. I'm sure all of you have WhatsApp groups. I'm not even going to go into that, but that's given. And then if you are running a business and you don't have an email, please, this is the time to set it up. I normally encourage businesses to register their own business domain. It's not difficult. You can actually do that with GoDaddy or Bluehost or any of the hosting providers out there. You register a domain. It costs, I mean, the one that I registered for somebody last week was about, gosh, I think like 40 pounds or 30 pounds, something like that. And that gives you, so if it is, and they are creating an online store. So theirs was kavango.shop, and they bought the domain, and then you just map your domain to your email. So basically, you can actually just register for G Suite. You buy a G Suite license, which would enable you to access the Google Docs and other business tools to enable your business to run again and at one source of truth. So everybody works and uses those tools that are provided by the the G Suite. And this email you would set with your own domain name, and everybody gets access to an email, and all correspondence is captured on that mail. Using personal emails is very tricky, especially if you want to track and manage your institutional knowledge. If you are working in a business where people come and go, remember they also go with the knowledge they've acquired in that business. So if you want to keep track of that and you don't want to lose it, it would be better providing them a corporate email that can be managed by your domain provider or your IT support to make sure you don't lose that institutional knowledge. Again, also a customer relationship management tool would be super useful. So again, how that of course affects your entire business corner to corner, as I had mentioned in the previous slide. Another tool, and this is a resource, and I brought this up a bit before the end of the slide deck because I thought it was a great tool which would enable me as a person who I don't have a lot of time, but I want to learn a lot more about how to operate my business, how to find funding, how to go after business, negotiating, managing teams, working remotely, blah, 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 blah. And this is a tool that is being offered by Google called Google Primer. And this is just like, it takes about maybe 5 to 10 minutes, and it gives you different tidbits on a lot of the issues that I've discussed in the previous slides. This is available now. As you are in this presentation, feel free to check your phone on the Google Play Store to look and download this tool and just go through it. And I will ask at the end of this presentation if there are any questions or topics that you think, areas that you want clarified from the tool or how to use the tool. And yeah, we can take that forward. But I thought to bring that whole section up, this would be the great place to get all those bits and pieces of information. Of course, Bitrix is an external service provider, so that's out of this, but it will just show you or give you an idea of all the different things that you need to consider as you try to navigate this new terrain. So I've talked about internal operations, running around, putting the products together, managing your team. What can we do to get the team engaged with the operations, and so on. Now, I just want to go through quickly some of the things that have already been touched on in previous presentations, but just to highlight the importance of those. As I said, you need to have a digital presence. It's very important. People are no longer going to have the luxury not at least for the next few years, have the luxury of coming to your place of business to interact. So it is important that you are visible online, okay? Google My Business is a presentation I had done earlier, which talks about how to bring your business online. It also has information on how to quickly and efficiently set up a website and you know, give your business what do you call it, an online presence. You could also, and I know there are several of you here who are using Instagram and those, and the cool thing with using something like the CRM tool that I talked about is you can actually consolidate your social media presence through that CRM tool. So you have one source of truth. You upload once, it goes to multiple channels. Not this, I have a Facebook, I have this, and you have to coordinate all of it, okay? So again, you need a website, you need to have a presence. And then you also, if you don't have, you're not good with advertising or marketing, you may want to investigate doing some Google ads and optimize your website to be positioned to be, you know, at the top of the list when somebody is searching about your business. I think a lot of this was also touched on where we talked about meta tags and those, but just to bring it home, this is where it becomes very applicable and very real. The other two additional tools that I wanted to talk about also was Google Meet and YouTube Live. Now, these tools are available freely currently. So if you have a Gmail account, you can actually access these tools. A lot of you, and myself included, I practically live on YouTube, getting tips and tricks on different topics and information, and participating in live streams such as this one. So basically what this enables you to do is that you are able to reach out to your audience and also engage with your staff. As I said, if you are trying to engage and you know, have a pulse on how your staff are working and your customers are working, you can use these tools to engage with your teams internally and externally. So we're going to talk a bit more about Google Meet, what it is, how it works, very quickly, and then we segue into YouTube, how to set up a YouTube channel or a YouTube live stream, and then we'll go quickly into question and answer. I wanted to make sure we have a lot of time to do questions and answers so that we can be able to have an interactive session. Okay, so Google Meet. What's Google Meet? I'm sure some of you already know about it. You know Zoom, which is some of the tools I'm sure everybody knows about, WebEx, and so on. And basically, this is just a tool to enable you to host and join meetings. As it stands right now, through to September 30th, you can use the full functionality of the Google Meet to be able to engage with your different stakeholders. And it's very easy to access. As I said, well, this one just talks a bit more about the difference between the free version and the G Suite, which of course the free version is what is available in your email currently. And then G Suite is the one that I was referring to earlier, where you set up your business domain, business emails, and other tools to enable your business to run from one point or one source of truth. And that would enable you to run different types of meetings, different lengths. As you can see, for the free session, you have only an hour, but for you know, for a G Suite package, you can actually run it for 300 hours, which I know those of us in the tech industry, when we're running hackathons and those type of things, this is extra handy. So yeah, essentially this is the features and functionality of that. And basically how your business can benefit is, of course, as I said, connecting with remote teams, meetings with vendors, clients, training employees about new procedures, the procedures I mentioned earlier, about how to now engage and work together in this new dispensation, you could definitely leverage on this tool to do that. You can also, so briefly, if you want to access or start using the Google Meet, you can actually access it through your email, or you can access it through a link that's provided. Normally, if you are setting up a meeting using your Google Calendar, you can actually set up the Google channel. If you are using G Suite, it will actually use the G Suite rooms that have been availed to you to be able to set up your meetings and move forward. And so basically, yeah, you can access the link for the Google Meet across the 3 channels, and that enables you to, you don't have to stress and worry about links and those things. What you would then need to do is have an app, the Google Meet app would be ideal, so that you are able to log into the platform easier. It's not that it won't happen, but if you have the tool on your laptop, sorry, on your phone, tablet, and then access online through your mail or calendar, yeah, it just makes everything so much easier. At first, it didn't used to be like this, which is why we used Zoom, but since the new situation, they've actually really improved it to make it a bit more seamless. So I'd encourage you to use it. Yes, you also have your normal controls, so the chat, the microphone, the camera, to enable you to, run a normal call as we are running now. So I won't go into too much depth there. And then you would also have a place where you can share your screen. You can share different sections of the screen of your presentation. You can share the entire screen, the window, or the tab, so that you don't have to share your entire portfolio of open pages at the time. Although the best way to go about things is just to have that one page up and not any other, shall I say, incriminating information other than what you want to present. You can also record meetings. So currently in the standard Google Meet, you can't do that, but those who would want to get a G Suite account can do so, and you would also have access to that recording functionality. The great thing about Google, because it has quite a lot of space, and depending on what package you bought, you would be in a position to actually archive your recording on your folder structure. So if you have a G Suite account, it will keep it in your folder structure, and that way nobody can tamper with it. And it's also very secure because it's actually just in your space of work. It's not in the broad ecosystem of the world where you can just access it from anywhere. So I think that's a great functionality. Quickly going into YouTube. So YouTube enables you to do some live streaming. This is for those especially who are interested in selling their products or talking about a product or a service. Some people also, their line of business is speaking. So those who do talks on different technical issues and, want to share their expertise, could use live streaming for that. And what it enables you to do is you react and interact with people. You can stream and appear on the search results. So if people are looking for your presentation or your streaming, they can actually find that when you log into YouTube for the first time, it can actually show you watch now. So if there's a live session that is relevant to your search feed, it can actually show you or show the, shall I say, the potential customer or whoever you are presenting to that you are offering a session. How your business can benefit, I think it goes without saying. You can run live events, you can do question and answer on your products, you can do FAQ sessions, maybe you run, I know those who are in the health and fitness industry, if they've given out a diet plan, and they want, they want to have another way of engaging with their customers, they can actually set up an FAQ session and, view the questions as they come in and respond through the live streaming. You could also do product demos, so showing how you construct a product or how you are making an order. I know Instagram has a very efficient way of doing this too, but this is also available if you want to have it a bit more structured. And then, yeah, basically, in order for you to start working with the YouTube, you'd need to create a profile or sign in. And once you've done that, you can create a channel. And please remember, it shouldn't be your personal channel. It should be the business channel. When we talk of business channel, it behaves, you need to think about it the same way we think about a website. So colors, branding, language, all have to be in line with your business. And then after that, as I said, you need to add your profile picture, whether it's the logo of your business or it's you who is selling your service. You can add that information. You would then need to add a description, your website, your social links. And normally what it does is when you are about to go live, you can actually just go onto your social media and just share with the different stakeholders or your customers that you're about to present, and it kind of links you can share the link and provide the streaming directly to your social media links. And then when it comes to structuring your site or your channel, as I mentioned, you would probably need to consider, the same way you are considering your website, proper graphics, or even if it's not, when I say proper, it doesn't necessarily have to be professional, but it has to be in line with your brand and your business, and colors and so on. There's a lot of information which is available on how to set up your channel. So I'll share that at the end of the slide, but essentially you can set, create sections. On the right-hand corner, you can select when you want to go live or upload information or a video about a particular thing. You can even bring in other links if you prefer. If you want to edit the structure, you can also use the edit functionality there, which would enable you to do that. So in order for you to start streaming, you can actually, first off, please make sure that if you are going to do a streaming session, you do so you set up your channel 24 hours in advance, or I would advise even 22 days, because depending on where you are, sometimes it takes a bit of time for the servers to recognize that you're about to do that. So please do it in sufficient time. You can actually go to studio.youtube.com to set up your session. And then when you are ready to go live, at the time when you are ready to go live, actually, it will, that enable live streaming button would come up, and then that is when you are able to start your streaming. As I said, yeah, when you're setting up your streaming, you could actually provide additional information so that the stream can be searchable. You can actually, so there are different ways of going about it. You can make it publicly accessible to everyone, and that's everyone on the planet. Then you can also do it for a select group. So maybe there are people who have subscribed to your channel, and then there are those who maybe they have a link, and they they can access it through the link. So you can kind of stratify or share your information to a specific group of people. It doesn't have to be everybody if you don't wish it to. Additionally, you may want to, if the content of your information is not suitable for children, then that information should be included so that young ones are protected. Of course, we encourage that you don't put improper information, but in case it's information of a certain sensitive nature, then we would encourage you to put in those restrictions. Okay, so you've got your page set up. The next thing to do is to test if your streaming is working. So you can schedule the live stream, provide description, and provide a high contrast thumbnail image. Basically, what it means is you can do your marketing, share with everybody, share the information of the links and so on. And then you can also do a test run to see if the links work, so that on the day of presentation, you don't have any challenges. And then during the session, you can feature your event on the channel, your YouTube channel, and keep a structure. When you are making your streaming session, you can actually, we would advise that you create some sort of structure and flow similar to what I'm doing right now. That will help guide your thoughts and your presentation so that it's very clear and it's concise and everybody enjoys it. You can also publish once your presentation is done, you can actually publish it into an archive for your channel. And you can direct audiences to your archive so that in case they miss the session, they can actually have an opportunity to view it again. You don't also need to keep it there forever after a period of time, especially if it's a paid service. If it's something that you are charging, so maybe you are a presenter, you are a technical person, and they paid to do a coaching session or maybe on a technical topic, you don't necessarily have to keep it there forever. You can take it down because people pay for that time and that interaction. So yeah. And if you want other information, as I said, if you want to learn how to set up your page and other activities, what you need to think about, I think the Creator Academy has a wealth of information that you can actually go through and learn how to create that content. One other thing, just to make, just on the issue of YouTube, presentations, please make sure you have your basic equipment, so which is your laptop, good lighting, camera, microphone, internet, and of course your business account. So making sure that it will, the development of your different stream sessions are very efficient and are of good quality would always keep people looking for more and wanting to get to interact with your business. So here we have some information. As I said, if you want to know more about how to engage with your staff remotely, and I think I have, yes, good, 40 minutes, so we get to talk. If you want more information, I will provide my information to Edison and Kerry if you need more tips, if you want to understand more how to navigate or automate your business. I'm available to support. And here you have access to some key resources in terms of how to set up some of these different features and functionality. I highly, highly recommend the Primer mini courses for small businesses, as this is information it's so bite-sized. It's not like reading 8 pages of a Harvard Business Review document, although I've added some. But it's really bite-sized, easy to assimilate, and actionable. So I really encourage you to look at it. Again, some of the resources that and hence the reason why I was taking a bit of time, is I really wanted to make sure you have as much information on how to navigate this. It's really unprecedented. Those of you who are not used to, doing, working online or running a business digitally, it takes a getting used to. It's not so straightforward. So I try to make sure that you have access to other additional resources. And as I said, Kerry and Edison are there. If you need information or you want to get in touch with me, please don't hesitate to do so. So this is where I will end my presentation, and I'll open the floor for discussion, but moderated by Kerry and Edison. With that, thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Cynthia. As always, a great presentation. We are going to open up the floor for questions. And as we are discussing, please take a moment to complete the poll that is now showing up on your screen. These polls are very important for us to continue to deliver strong programming for everyone who's on this call and everyone who is a part of the SheTrades platform. So coming to the questions now, again, if you have a question to ask, please unmute yourself to ask the question, and then mute yourself again to hear the response. Right. You can also just drop them in the chat. We have one question from Aditun, who's asking, can one have more than one YouTube channel per Gmail account? Interesting question. Cynthia, do you have an answer?
Yes, it's possible, but very difficult to manage after a while. How many pages are you thinking of having? Yeah, I'd like to know more. Can the participant just give me a bit of context?
Aditun, if you could unmute yourself to provide context. Yes, and for all of those who are asking about contacts for Women Will chapter in their respective countries, yes, we will be providing that information to you this week. I think Cynthia was finding those contacts for us as well.
Yes, that's available. So, I mean, I don't know if the participant could provide more context, but essentially, yeah, okay, she's saying is unable to mute.
Yes, I was unable to mute, but I can you hear me? Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you now.
Okay, yes, so what it is I have a personal Gmail account and I have a business Gmail account. So I wanted to have one personal, what's it called, YouTube channel, and have another account on the same, you know, accounts. Is that possible? As in Gmail account, is that possible? Like do you understand what I'm trying to say?
Are you saying that you want to have a YouTube channel tied? You want to have two YouTube channels tied to one email?
Yes. Is that possible?
Yes, I believe so, because if you are doing it for different types of products or those type of things, it is possible, but I wouldn't recommend it unless it is so that the channels or whatever it is that you are doing is so different. In my understanding, what goes for business, all the different things about the business should have a business email and its respective YouTube channel. And then what goes for your personal one is your personal one. That's how I would take it. But yeah, I'm curious. Maybe we can discuss this offline as to emails. Yeah.
Yes, please. Thank you. Thank you.
Most welcome. Thanks. Is there another question?
Yes, there's another one, and this one is a fairly straightforward. Asking if, excuse me, which of the apps you can use to run Zoom meetings at no cost, and how does it work? So, as we know, Zoom is primarily a free platform. Do you have any advice on other apps or platforms that can be used?
So there are a few. We have another one called Whereby. This is another. I'll let me see if I can find the link. I will add to my response. I think I'll send you an email, Kerry, when with the heads of the Women Work chapters. So I'll include that. So there's one called Whereby. But again, free does not mean that it is free, if you get what I mean. There are limitations. Set a meeting, Google gives you an hour, others give you an hour and a half, and others will give you 40 minutes. So I would want to believe that you are running a business and you want it to grow, and you need to put the right infrastructure in place to enable you to have a hassle-free, efficient operation. I would encourage you, compare between the different tools and see which one is affordable to you. I would be honest to say the Google suite of tools. So if you have a G Suite domain, if you buy a G Suite package for your business, even if you are one person, that Google Meet actually has the full functionality that would enable you to do whatever you want at a cost-effective manner. Vis-a-vis buying what do you call it, an independent tool like a Zoom, that you are now paying Zoom X amount, you are now paying G Suite X amount, and so on. So in order to, also harmonize your expenses, have one single source of, So I would encourage you, just register for G Suite for business. There's a small entry license. If you are a non-profit and you are in Nigeria or Ghana or East Africa, Kenya, you are able to also get a non-profit license, but you need to apply for it. There are certain criteria for it, but they can offer you a G Suite license if you are a social enterprise that is a non-profit. So there you go. Okay, next question.
Thank you very much for that answer. I don't see any other questions in the chat at this moment. Please, if you've added a question and I'm missing it, unmute yourself to ask.
Hello. Good afternoon.
Hi, good afternoon.
Who is this?
My name is Jacqueline Ruby Sakite. And I have tried to register. Yeah, hello.
Yes, please go ahead.
Okay, I've tried to register for Google business account for months now. I still haven't received my postcard. What can I do?
Thank you, Jacqueline. Yes, this has been a prevailing issue. Quite frankly, as somebody who advocates for Google products and those things, it's borderline embarrassing. I must be very honest with you. However, I know that they have some, because of the COVID, there's also there's been a lot of lag and delay. But what I would advise, and I will send that link in my report to Kerry, there is a place where you can actually reach out to support to actually lodge a complaint that you have not received your card. And then, then let's see how they respond. Another way of going about it, please try and do the registration again. At times, they do have the ability for them to send you a test or a verification call. So they will call you and you do the verification on the phone. So please try it again. I know that there have been some changes in the last couple of weeks. So if you fail, I will provide my details and then let's look at it. I know there may be some, we had tried to look for others, but after we made the new request, even up to now, we still haven't received feedback, unfortunately. But at least we just have to be persistent and keep on trying. The other caveat to this, unfortunately for us, those of us in the developing world, because our addressing system is not designed the same way where Google's address, whatever they use to do this card, is done. I think it's the United States or Europe. It seems to be a bit of a challenge on how these cards are now issued for the developing world. Please, it's not only you, guys from Latin America, Asia have the same issue. So we just have to keep on trying and advocating for them to also put us on the same playing field, as it were. But Yes, I do. I will take it up. So let's take it up offline, and then we look at it.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you too. I think there were some hands that went up. I wasn't able to see. Kerry, can you help me?
Sorry, I was muted. Yes. So, see hands from Virginia Alozi. Virginia, would you like to unmute yourself? All right. And just one other point. So I suppose there was an issue with the poll. Could you please make sure that you answer it, the 3 questions, even if you have already? Currently, we have 14 of 66 participants who have answered. And if you can just reply to those 3 questions one more time, it will be appreciated. Thank you.
Great.
Yes, Virginia, do you want to
somebody,
speak?
yeah. Okay, maybe we
Okay, I
lost
don't
her.
think Virginia, maybe Virginia didn't mean to raise her hand.
Yeah.
All right, if we have no other questions, I am personally interested regarding the time management app that you mentioned, Clockify. Could you
Yes.
explain that just a little bit, the best practice, maybe the top best practice to use with it?
Sure. So time management is a big challenge when you are now working with a you have now got a distributed office, people are working online and so on. And the idea behind this type of tool, there are several ways of looking about it. From an employer perspective, as a CEO of a company, you want to know whether you're getting your full 8 hours. So those, if you know those who are in the accounting fields, in the Big Four, they tend to have this, they call it billables. Even the lawyers, they have it billables. The number of hours they put on a particular task is quantified, and you pay according to the hour or the day, depending on where you are. So basically what this tool enables you to do is to enable your team to track how much time they spend in a day and what activities have they done. So for example, myself as somebody who is a project manager, I manage a portfolio of projects. I have different activities I need to get done in the day. I would want to allocate. So they will, first of all, we will have a series of activities that need to be done. Then I will map out, okay, today I'm going to work on project A, B, C, D. And within A, B, C, D, this is what I'm going to do. And I'm going to allocate for project A, subtask B. I want to spend 30 minutes. And you, when you are submitting your information, you'll say, you will give it's like a time report. So for each of the projects, for project A, subtask B, I spent 30 minutes. For task C, I spent 1 hour. Oh, this one report took longer than anticipated, or I needed to get feedback, so that took me 4 hours. And so that gives you a guide on roughly how much time people are spending on a particular activity. That's one option. Another option, I think it's called, not Twilio, it's called Toggle. There's another one called Toggle, which you can actually set. So when you get onto your computer in the morning, it can actually set the time. It's like a stopwatch. You start it and it will monitor all the things that you are doing, and then it will quantify based on, because you can also, depending on how sophisticated you are and what you want to do, it can actually monitor how much time you are spending on social media vis-a-vis what you're supposed to be doing online. So if you're supposed to be working within a particular CRM tool or your work or whatever, it tracks that, and then that is actually captured and sent to the employer. That's a bit more sophisticated and a bit more stringent. But in order to create what is it? Shall I say peaceful working environment? You know, expecting your staff to be responsible and actually bill for what they've done. And what that means is that if you said you spent 4 hours writing that report, I better have, and the deadline is today. If you spend 4 hours, I need the report today. The two must be in alignment. You can't bill for a report you said you spent your whole day on and I don't receive the report, right? So that's how you manage your staff and your time as a, whether you're a consultant and or you have a team that you are managing. Yeah, I rambled a bit, but does that answer your question? Hello?
Yeah, sorry, I am muted, but thank you. Actually, that definitely helps to clarify for me, as well as hopefully other people on this call, what it means to manage your time efficiently, right? Especially when it comes to the categorization of projects and subtasks. Thank you very much. Regina, did you still want to add your question? Not Regina, I'm sorry, Virginia. Virginia, you should be unmuted by now.
Yeah.
Okay, I think Virginia either is having issues with her mic or doesn't have a question. Are there any other questions or anyone else that would like to add their thoughts?
I've seen one from Doris.
Yes, just
Doris,
seen that.
about an effective way to remotely manage the time workers in a textile and apparel business spend on their work. This one is a time and performance issue. If it takes, and I'm not sure whether okay, if I use, the West Africans will know what, if it is kaba and slit, which is top and bottom outfits, top skirt and top outfits, right? And it takes 2 days to make a kaba and slit, and or maybe a day to assemble one. Then the expectation is that at the end of the week, I expect 5 kaba and slits. If you can do more, the better for you, right? And so you would then need to look at how many items you want produced and by when. And then that can then, you then map it out into, so if you're using a system like Clockify and you tell them I need 10 pieces of kaba and slit ready by Wednesday, today is what? Today is Thursday. Then the person knows that tomorrow I need to log that I have done 2. The next day I need to log in that I've done 3, and so on and so forth. And they would then fill it in, and that would then be mapped to how much they get paid. That's one way of going about it. The other way of going about it is to say, I need 10 kaba and slit, and I need it done in 3 days with this level of quality. You provide the specifications. If they're not able to deliver, then there's a penalty for not delivering. So that's a way of looking at it. I hope that helps. There's another comment from Angela, which says, could you give us the spelling of these two? Okay, so I've actually typed it in. It's Toggle and Clockify. There are other tools out there. It's not only the only one, but I'd be happy to provide additional ones later in the week.
I see Virginia's question.
Virginia was also asking, yeah, could you help me give WOB
Right.
sheet? Let's receive. Oh, okay. So yes, this is an issue I have taken for Virginia. To answer your question, I have taken it up. I think Kerry and I have been trying laboriously to engage with the relevant people in Google to address this issue. I did receive some information that the East Africa office for Google had identified a company that was going to be responsible for the verification on the continent. However, till date, I've not received the information of who these people are and how this works. So this is something that is still fluid in motion. And as soon as I have more information, I will be happy to share. I don't believe this SheTrades platform will end. I think this is going to be something that will be continuing. And once we have more information, I will share it with you. I hope that that helps.
That does. Thank you very, very much for that response. And there are a few people who have been asking about the verification. I know that that's important for folks as they're setting up their Google My Business and also relevant contacts. So that folks can get in touch with the point of contact in their respective countries. Thank you guys for mentioning this again.
I think just for me, I wanted to make sure everybody understands the issue of the processes and activities. Do we understand what this means for your business? Because I know that there are some businesses who are still struggling, trying to figure out, okay, I know a lot of you have navigated to WhatsApp and IG and other tools, which is fantastic. You're on a great start, but how are your back-end operations working? Are they efficient? Do you, especially to the point of the lady for the apparels, you know, people order outfits, you put it on IG or whatever and say, I make these outfits, and you get 1,000 orders just like that. How have you created your operations in such a way that you'll be able to respond to that? So if there are those who have specific questions to that and want to dig deeper, we have about 15 minutes to 20 minutes. I'd hate for you to not take advantage of this, because in most instances, this is a paid service. I consult. So please do use the time available. So are there any questions around this? Especially when you're managing your staff and you are going to have new rules or additional rules to cater for working with a team remotely. So any other questions?
Doesn't seem that there are any other questions coming through the chat. If you haven't answered the poll, please do, and I'm sure we will close it shortly. And then we will wrap up the session in the next couple of minutes. The poll is still open. It should be available on your screen.
Please resend the poll. We don't have it. I don't have it on my screen.
Ijeoma, please see if it's hidden somewhere on your screen.
No, I can't say yet. It's not on my screen.
Okay, so there's a question that's just come in from Annie, who is saying, how can we handle inventories or requests that are more than our staffing capacity in the textile and apparel? Okay, this is a great question, because I always see there's a lot of one-man shops, mom and pop shops. One of the things that I would encourage our businesses to do, if you are working in a business, textile and apparels, you have you are not the only one doing it. Identify other suppliers or other textile apparel people of like mind and like spirit to collaborate with, who can take on some of the bigger capacity than what you have, okay? You could that's one option, so that you become more like a consortia. You are not the only one doing it. So for example, I'm Cynthia, I do jackets, that's my specialty. And then you have somebody who does skirts, and that's her specialty. So I can be a contract person to your business. Is it Annie or Annika? And you can contract me to just come and do the jackets and go, and then contract someone to do the skirts and go. There's different ways of going about it, right? That's one option. Another option is you group yourself. So you say, my name is XYZ Business, but behind XYZ Business is a group of other smaller businesses who do work made to order. So if you receive an order for 1,000 jackets, 1,000 skirts, you know there are 6 other companies behind you who can actually complete the order and submit. And once the money comes, you divide. But the caveat to this, please make sure your contracts and you have a good working relationship with your partners. Please don't choke each other, right? If you don't, and that would enable you to harmoniously work together and make money together, instead of it being one person who cannot meet their demand and therefore disappoint the customer. I could go on and on and on about this. But yes, there are people who are specialized in specific things. Identify them, contract them, and put in the necessary documentation to ensure if they disappoint you, you know where to take them to if they fail. So, yeah. Is it possible? Oh, okay. There's somebody asking for slides. I think the slides and everything are with Kerry and her team. They'll be sent to you. And if you have any other questions, please don't hesitate to contact me.
All right, thank you again, Cynthia, very much for your vast knowledge. I really appreciate working with you and with the Google Women Will team. I think that we should be just about ready to close the poll and wrap up the session. Edison, is it possible to hand back over to you?
Hello? Oh, okay.
All right. Thank you again, everyone. Just waiting to close the poll, and
Yep.
we will. Wonderful. All right. Now that we have closed the poll, thank you everyone again for your contributions. The recording and slides will be sent out with Cynthia's information. If you have any other questions, please feel free to reach out to either me or to Edison directly. And we will be back tomorrow for those of you who are in IT specifically. We will be back tomorrow for another training on Google's cloud computing services. Thank you very much.
Thanks, everyone. It's been a pleasure. Thank you, too. Have a good day.
Have a lovely day.
Thank you, Cynthia. Thank you, everyone.